Hello, my dear friends, it's Kunal here, and today we are going to cover our session number 16 from the book Instant Word Power. In this session, we are going to tackle some of the new words like asserious or obsession. These are some of the words that we are going to tackle in this session. So, we have to stay patiently, and I try to concise this session as far as possible, try to take as less time as possible so that things we cover all the sessions as fast as possible. So stay patiently. Getting back to Latin pseudo to sit. What is the meaning of the word pseudo to sit? So another forms of pseudo is thesis. So any one of the three syllables seed possession can indicate sitting. A session of the court is the period when the judge is sitting on the bench. Sit on the bench. A session of a class is the hours in which students are sit in their seats, engaging hopefully in their learning activities. Sits or sitting. Pseudo is to sit. So I think you get the point number one perfectly. So I feel that I am articulating the things pretty well so that you get the maximum output of these videos. Ob, ob is basically a Latin prefix that means above, upon, over, upon, or over. So basically, these are the prefixes, some of the meanings of upon and over. So an obsession of yours is by etymology something that's over, something that sit upon or over you. Get this picture of an old man of a sea sitting on the shoulders of Sinbad, the sailor, in the one of the famous tales from the Arabian Nights. No matter where Sinbad went or what he did, he could not throw the old man off, and you can imagine what a mess that was. If you want to know outcomes similarly and just as gruesomely, when an idea, thought, feeling, fears, worry, doubt, anger, etc. sits on the top of your mind like an old man of a sea, that you have an obsession. Obsession. So, what is the meaning of the word obsession? Obsession refers to something sits on your mind. Something sits on your mind, and you completely think about these things in depth way. When you say that your your only interest in life is money, no matter how rich you are, money is all you think of. You evaluate everything in terms of its price. You put dollar stacks on every relationship. Your only satisfaction in living comes from increasing your net worth day and night, working and sleep. It's money, money, money. Have you got an obsession? Because money sits on your mind here. Evaluate. Evaluate refers to summarize. Summarize. The verb forms of obsession is constructed by on. Write the verb is constructed by dropping the noun suffix I on. Obsess. Obsess is basically the verb of obsession. To, to the monster in the frame 4, we must justly pose the question: we does money obsess you? Obsess you? Or we might point out that he is obsessed with money. To construct the adjective forms of the verb obsess, add the ion obsessive. Obsessive means something that is possessive to something. Obsessive. Peoples who are prey to obsessions are called obsessive personalities. Obsessive personality. Some people are obsessive neatness and obsess neatness and order. They can't resist if there is a dirty dish in the sink, a single snuffle out cigarette in any ashtray, a piece of dirt on the ashtray, basically a tray. Whenever you say a tray type where you have to just put your cigarettes ash, this is called ashtray. It's a ashtray, and it's this is ash. I think you're getting my point. Pseudo means to sit. It may appears in English words as the syllable of sis, seed. Seed is setting of spelling of the root in the adjective assiduous. What's the meaning of assiduous? Assi- refers to hardworking, diligent guy. Hardworking, diligent guy. Diligent guy. A combination of add to add pseudo plus the adjective suffix os. Add is responsible as the front of the starting by etymology peoples who are asset is consistently sits at a job and a task hobby. The person who is totally involved in task usually works hard at it. They give it a lot of careful attention and thought. They are consistently and patiently and take pains to do it right. They preserve at it no matter what a distraction get in the way. In the sense the continuous sit down to the task. This is in short is assiduous. Assiduous. They are in short assiduous. Assiduous. There is no I here. In the Victor Hugo Les Miserables, police inspector Javert spent years pursuing Jean Valjean even through the sewers of Paris, finding the escape, convicting us obsession with Inspector. Ironically, Valjean saves Javet's life by rescuing him from the revolutionary group, and Javert, unable to reconcile a conflict between them. Conflict is basically uh, argument. Conflict is basically argument. Argument is called conflict. Concise and gratitude to a value. Concise refers to something from our mind, something from our thinking and mind. That means concise. I think I don't need to write it. Such keenly stressed on the Christians, such unremitting pursuit called as obsession. See, one way to drive the forms of adjective endings of OUS to NES. NES. The adventure is generous is generous. Change the adjective forms of ambiguous, ambiguous, ambiguousness, incongruousness, congruousness. I think we completed these words. Credulous. Credulous is personal that is believable. Believable. Hilarious. Funny. Funny is called hilarious. Credulousness. Here hilarious. Hilariousness. Mysterious. Mysteriousness. Ness. Mystery is something that is hidden. Hidden. Follow the pattern. Change the assiduous to the noun. Assiduousness. You can drive the noun forms of the some adjective ending OS in the additional by dropping the adjective suffix OS, replace it with the nouns IUT. For example, ambiguous, ambiguity. So here, ambiguity means ambiguity, incongruous, incongruent, dexter. What's the meaning of dexterous? Dexterous is a person who is skillful. Skillful. I think you all know about the skillful. So here we have to. I tell the meanings after completing these points because at this time, I'm a little bit in rush, so that's why I don't want to lengthening up this video. And my intention is to reduce the time of the video. That's why I'm not telling the words meanings here. Incredulity. I have to complete this. Fatuity. Perspicuity. Superfluous. Superfluity. Superfluity. What is the meaning of the word superfluous? Superfluity refers to using more than using more words rather using more words than actually needed. Using extra words. Extra words. 15 16 answer familiar no matter. You have doubtless noticed that if you precise ios adjective, thus you is retained when the noun suffix it added. So following the pattern carefully and nothing, particularly the point made in the previous sentence, drive an alternate acidity, acidious, acidious. I'll tell you about the meaning of the word. Acidious refers to diligent, hardworking, hard working, and synonymous, deli, diligent, high. Do you keep the words? Javert pursued escaped convict Jean Javelin with great acidity or assiduity. Both of the both of the terms are interchangeable. So we can change both of the terms by with one another. So because both of them are adjectives and but their pronunciation and spelling is a little bit different. That's why that makes the change here. Serious student aiming for a state average for a summa cum laude and PBT cup of paying their assignments with their great assiduous or assiduity. Either I, DUI, TY. Some of the words become adjective by adding ITY and NESS. Assiduous worker is usually not appreciable by the boss but likely to advance rapidly upon the corporate ladder. Preside is built on pre before plus pseudo is to sit. Reside is built on re means back and pseudo is to sit. Dissidence is built on dis. Dis dis means apart or away. Pseudo is to sit. Substitute built on sub means under plus pseudo is to sit. Insidious built on in means in. Pseudo is to sit. Annihilate is built on add. Add means to. Nihilate means to nothing. Nothing. Obsession is built on ob. Ob. Upon. upon or over. Pseudo is to sit. Asadius is built on Asadius here. Asadius is built on Asadius is to and pseudo is to sit. So here we have to reinforce our learning here. I am going to write I'm gonna write the meanings of the words again here so that words kept in your mind and you don't have to think that much. Whenever you omitting the words, you omit the words confidently. Whenever you try to articulate yourself, you feel confident, you feel fluent, you feel that you know the things in the way that it should be. Dissident is basically the person who dissident is sitting apart, sitting sitting apart, or a person that having different a person that having different mindset, different mind than the group, than the group, and it's not satisfied from the book. It's just one subside is basically what's the meaning of the subside? Become less intense, become less intense, less intense. Subsidence, basically both of those. Insidious, insidious refers to sitting in, sitting in or harmful, harm, harm over the time, or harm over the time, harmful or harm over the time, over the time. Annihilate, annihilation, reduce to nothing, reduce to nothing. I already tell you the meaning of these words. Any is basically annihilation is basically reduced to nihilistic, a person who believe in nothing, believe in nothing. By writing my words in a concise way so that it doesn't take that much of space. Nihilism. Nihilism is basically all the words are obsessed, conserving, conserving, wing, or thinking, think all the time. Serious, hardworking, hard working. So dissident. Dissident is basically the person who is whose thoughts are different from the other people's. A dissident person is a person who's dissatisfied from their group is called dissident. Dissident, D-I-S-I-D-E-N-T, dissident. Dissidence is their adjective form. Double S-I-D-E-N-C-E. Subside is basically whenever water subsides. That means to become less intensive, become less, something that is reduced. Subside, subsidence, subsidence is basically the adjective form. Insidious, insidious. Annihilate, reduce to nothing. Annihilate. Whenever you're watching the video, you have to sit with a pen and a paper so that you can write the words that I am telling you. I think these words: annihilation, nihilistic, nihilist, nihilist is the person who believes in nothing. Nihilist, nihilistic. Nihilistic is the adjective form. Nihilism, nihilism, obsessed. Think 100% about something is called obsession. Obsession. Keep the spelling in your mind and just sharp your pictorial memory, because sometimes you forget the things, but your pictorial memory helps you a lot. Whenever you are in a paper or somewhere, you need to vocate the words, but then your pictorial memory helps you to. I said yes. He's an assiduous worker. I think I have to write it clearly. Assiduous worker. He was an obsession. Obsession with the 5 minutes. You believe in nothing. You you are a nihilist. Nihilist. If your voice, you all wrong. I hear a dissident, dissident voice. Your When your anger subside, become less intense, you will be able to look at the problem rationally. Rationally, clearly. That means clearly, without any side, without taking any side. That means rationally. If we will the opposition, the candidates both boasted. You have an obsessive personality, can't you have relax a bit? Obsessive personality. We are a CDS. The position the candidate posted there is dissident. Suppose fulfill hope by anonymity. Dissident. Dissidence. 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 Your philosophy. Nihilistic. Nihilistic philosophy removes all after the flood caused by sub subside. Subside. She works such a assiduous. Contrast remarks. Does a feeling of inferiority obsess you? Obsess you? Maybe you are inferior, Sue said to her roommate. Unless conditions change in the near future, some ecologists foresee that humans annihilate. He is insidious. D-U-O-U-S, insidious. D-D-I-O-U-S, insidious. Some philosophy of nihilism. Nihilism. So I completed the whole. I completed the session number 16. So thanks for watching my videos. Bye.